Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Guru Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Namo Sita Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaura Karuna Swarupa. Once in a while, a person from the past who had such a deep and strong grip upon our existence would visit us in a dream. One such dream occurred to me last night. It was a person whom I thought I really had a strong affection for, whom I thought I really loved. She appeared in an overwhelmingly natural and primeval attractiveness, which confused me into something profound, sublime, and true. I woke up with my mind shaken by the image of that subconscious meeting. Everything I have known was lost, except for a tiny window of sense that is telling me I am thoroughly wrapped up in illusion. For a moment there, flooded by a reawakened fancy, I was slipping to a more dangerous form of dreaming. It is a dream you have when you are awake, a daydream. What if? What if? I wonder. I am plunged in forgetfulness of what has kept me afloat all this time. I have lost the taste for things that the night before embraced as truth and joy. Serving my Lord, giving away everything to a life of loving service. Or so I thought. For a moment there, I had a complete and overwhelming desire to be what I abandoned. I have already abandoned. A slave of Maya or illusion, a slave of the senses, a slave of sexual desire, living in ignorance or conscious ignorance, just to once again taste that flavor of sensual business, just to again enter into that gamble of so-called relationship, disguising as love, but is simply an act of business driven by material, physical conditioning of our bodily dress. I never felt so far from my Gurudev or my teacher, my spiritual master, my spiritual guide, whom I consider the embodiment of my life and soul. I was in the brink of just stepping off the cliff again into the unsure, into the unknown, running half blind in my mind, crying inward, a rudderless vessel. I dragged myself to the habit I somehow formed. I sat up, brushed my teeth like I did yesterday and the day after that. All these are in preparation of the most important activity of my day. It is so important that it is no longer it is no longer an activity, but a part of my existence, like breathing or a heartbeat or a pulse or thinking. So I took my japa beads. These are the japa beads. So I took my japa beads like I always do every morning for weeks, every month, for years. The usual blissful urge may not be there. It is not there. For this morning, It was different. I was simply being dragged by the habit I have developed. And writing this now, it was that habit which saved me. I started chanting, starting with the third prayer of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, describing the condition, how we should chant, how we should be chanting. Then from that, I went on, just chanting, saying, and listening to myself. Saying and listening to myself produce the sound I had been listening to for 20 plus years without end. The sound came to me as tasteless, flavorless vibration, as I'm still struggling with the psychic depth of that dream. I forgot the science of my identity and entertained this idea of fleshly beauty again. That form glowing in material temporariness, maddening me like an animal, gone insane with hunger and trauma. But I closed my eyes and kept on chanting Hare Krishna, speaking the words and listening to the words carefully. Hare Krishna, like holding on to a rope or bar in the middle of an ocean. Krishna, Krishna, the thoughts, the fragments of form which drove me into a lunatic years before emerge and disappear. And my mind is reacting in simultaneous relief and lamentation. Hare, hare. But I just kept on saying because I know nothing more. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. I have no other life. I know I have no other life. Rama, Rama. I have seen them all and felt them all. Hare, hare. I closed my eyes and surrendered myself into the sound of Krishna's names, the source of profound, satisfying, cooling beauty. I felt myself like a little baby boat made of delicate paper, like a Japanese rice paper, floating, tossing in the middle of a monstrous and merciless ocean of my own subconscious, which is a cesspool. The subconscious mind is a cesspool of collected desires, lifetime after lifetime. By myself, I can never get out. I can never get out of this, like what happened many years, many times, repeatedly, before I discovered this process of japa yoga, this sound meditation, this mantra meditation. After one or two rounds, one round is when you finish the entire bead like this. You finish it. After one or two rounds, the dream I had was sterilized, like a harmless, petrified, taxidermied rattlesnake on a glass jar. I can still see it, but it has no venom. And once again, like what happened usually, the transcendental sound of God's names once again revealed and manifested its potency. At least, that's what I have experienced. In Lord Chaitanya's first of his 8 wonderful prayers, the Supreme Lord and inaugurator of this transcendental sound meditation of God's holy names declared, glorified, that the holy names of the Lord, as it is the life of all transcendental knowledge. This is testified for me this day, today. I have I have experienced this particular glorification, that the holy names himself is the life of all transcendental knowledge. That transcendental knowledge is our knowledge of our identity, of our function, that we are spirit soul, that are that we are part and parcel of the supreme soul. So our natural function is to lovingly serve that supreme soul. So we are dominated, like our own mind dominates us, including other forces more stronger than us, like nature, social laws, uh, country laws, etc. So that is transcendental knowledge. So we can know this knowledge, but without the chanting of the holy names, this knowledge will appear lifeless. So with the transcendental holy names giving life to this transcendental knowledge, I have testified that this glorification is true. As I resumed chanting and hearing the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, all knowledge returned. All wisdom reveals itself again, as if the holy names of God, are water to the wilted creeper of knowledge, of knowing our real identity, of what is love and what is lust, of what is our goal in life, what is important in life. I regain confidence on my spiritual essence, that I am not, and she, the girl whom I dreamed of, is not the flesh we are in. We are the persons within. The so-called beauty I am seeing in my dream, well, even in reality, even in waking life, is not false. It is not false, but is an illusion. And I can't find and I can't fall in love with an illusion again, like I did countless times in the past, which only wasted my youth and my time. Like in the movie Inception, this is one of my favorite movies, Inception by Nolan. Yeah, I have to say goodbye to these psychic projections. So in the movie Inception, the main character there, uh, he has this attachment to his wife, which appears in his dream all the time. So I have to say goodbye, like what the main character did in that movie, to resolve their situation. I have to say goodbye to these psychic projections. So these are not true. These are just my psychic projections. This is just appearing in my mind, because I don't really, when you realize it, you don't really love that person. But in the dream, you may feel that you really have that so-called feeling of love. So I have to say goodbye to these psychic projections in my mind. Although this is easy to say, but doing is another thing. By myself, it is not possible. Like the saying, for man, it is impossible, but for God, nothing is impossible. So I need help. This is one of the important things we have to realize, that we need help. We need help. And it is my great fortune, which I am eternally grateful for all the teachers, for all my teachers of self-realization, for all my transcendental teachers who handed down this blessing, this matchless gift of chanting the holy names of God, which came not from this world, not from this material world, but from the spiritual world itself. It descends here in the dark cavern, trench of the miserable material realm of illusion, of lust for flesh disguised as love, for daydreaming and living inside our own minds, inside the madness of our own minds, subjecting us to maddening misery and pain. This has to stop. We deserve to taste happiness, real happiness. And the unthinkable tragedy is that happiness is just within our arm's reach. In the name, in the holy name, Lord Chaitanya is saying, He's saying intimately to you, dear spirit soul, dear friend, wounded heart, if you want to be happy, if you want to be free from the pains in your heart, please, please chant the holy names of God. Haribol. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. So before I say goodbye, I want to share to you this wonderful process which I'm doing for many years now. So one is japa meditation, like what I've spoken a while ago. This chanting on this japa beads, the names of God. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that is one process. And the other process I'm going to share with you is a very easy process. This is called kirtan meditation. So this is a very easy form and fun way of meditating on God's names. So the same potency as japa meditation. So you can do it with your friends, with an instrument like using now, a ukulele. You can do it with an instrument or just, what is important is the holy names of God. So once again, thank you so much. I hope you will give a little more time and in experiencing this meditation. So I'm going to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo. Thank you very much. So this is live while you can. So thank you for your time. Thank you very much. If you want to know more about this process, you can drop a message and I can connect you with people who are teaching this process to me, to everyone. So thank you so much. Until next time. Haribo.